Coming to you from the dining room table at East Barbary Lane, welcome to a special episode of Full Circle, the podcast. Today we're visiting with artistic director Deborah Block and actors Arianna, Gayle and Scott Greer from Theater Exile in South Philadelphia. We recently saw their play Job, and it stuck with me. What an incredibly intense experience. We're really excited to talk with you.
I am your host, Charles Tyson Jr.
And I'm your host, Martha Madrigal. Welcome to the Full Circle table. Hey. How are you all? Yeah, but I'll speak at once. It's fine.
Hello.
We're the day before Thanksgiving, so that's exciting, right? It's wonderful to have you all together. I have so many questions. How about you?
Yeah. So first, I would definitely like to talk about Job because, that show was masterfully done, and it is a roller coaster. And I just, I guess Deborah would be the one to start this off with. Tell us about Job, what it is about.
What it's about? Oh no, that's a scary question because it's about so much. It depends how you enter it. But a woman walks into a therapist's office wanting to get her job back is the simplest answer to that question. And it's also about discovering truth and hiding and revealing truth at everyone's own terms. It's about that as well. And it's about facing what you think is maybe evil, or facing fears and challenges, and how well you do that and don't do that, and can you be your best self, and who are you versus who people think you are. Is what people see who you really are? I think the play asks all of those questions.
And answers a couple of them.
It really does. And, I went between the two of y'all deciding who I loved and who I hated. It was, you did.
And it changed from moment to moment.
I am going to say, and having done theater many, many years ago, the fact that two actors can take a stage and hold an audience captive for the entire length of the show, that's no small task. And what the two of you did, it's got to wring you out by the time each night. I mean, how do you all regroup? That's my first question. And Arianna, do you shake it off? What do you?
I think it was especially wonderful to work on material like this with Scott, because I think if you get too in your own head about the self-sacrificial nature of acting or whatever it might be, rather than where you actually are in reality. I mean, I was getting to do the thing I love most in the world with a phenomenal other actor. Mm-hmm. And every time we walked off the stage, the first thing out of Scott's mouth would always be something positive about what we just did, which is a really beautiful trait to have.
Yes.
An acting partner. And especially when it's only us in the show.
Right.
So I think there's... I look at this show as a true thriller in how it's created, which means we go to very dark places, but there's also this energy that comes from the audience that when we perform as actors, I won't speak for Scott, but when I'm performing, I go, oh my gosh, that's exhilarating. That's amazing to feel people lean in and really listening and have an investment in the story, both because of some of the ethical, moral, very painful things it talks about, but also because they're surprised, because there's a twist, because there's moments that they real jump scares and moments they didn't expect.
I had no idea where we were going. I got to tell you, I had no idea where you were taking me. Mm-hmm. And I sat there and Scott, I don't know how you do this every night either, because that's a lot to carry.
Well, yeah, first of all, it starts in the room in rehearsal, and we had Deb runs a very, very supportive, safe, and collaborative room, and we, having that kind of security and trust is vital when you're working on material like this. And yes, to echo what Arianna said, performing with Arianna was an enormous pleasure, and we sort of hit it off right from the beginning as performers. And it's a lot like the live. It's a lot like playing music with someone, even though the songs and the lyrics. But when you're playing live in front of an audience, something happens, and you're kind of adjusting and in the moment, and that's sort of what it felt like. And that's, to me, really, really fun. And so it was not difficult coming down, I think, or, just in general, I'm kind of like that. I leave it at the door. But working on a play as good as this with artists as good as these is just fun, period.
It's gotta be. It's got to be. But I just, I'm asking obviously from my own personal, but I would absorb, a character, and I would think I would need a hug.
Yeah, I will say I have a sweet little dog that I was able to bring with me to Philadelphia. She's
good.
Now sitting at my feet. Yeah, she's over there. Okay. So I think in my personal life, I felt an effect in that I wouldn't watch super violent things. Most of my YouTube life during this production was more dog videos, even though I already have a dog. Mm-hmm. Like there's little things like that where it's like, okay, let's take care of what we put into our head, because we already know very strong images from the show are there, and I would try to not get overwhelmed in that way. But I think that's true for most people in life. It's just, when you're a little bit stressed in one place, you're gonna take care of yourself in another way by giving yourself a break on what you're consuming on the internet, I hope.
Yeah, you have to.
The concept of just the work that your character did needs to get back to. So compelling. And, we start off with this sort of, I don't know, slightly unhinged person, but then it's like, wait a minute, how would any human... and you carry that so well. Thank you. How does someone carry so much in this world, and I don't think I'm giving away too much to say it, it's about knowing information most folks don't have access to.
Shouldn't have
and
access
shouldn't,
to.
And perhaps no one should. And then what do we do with it? And how do we hold that as humans? Deb, were you the person who chose the play?
Yeah, I mean, I always work with a group of people, but yes, we selected the play. I was fortunate to see it in New York in the Broadway run, and immediately felt that it would benefit from the intimacy that Theater Exile provides. Because I always want to find a show that is better because it's in an intimate space.
Yes.
Somehow, yeah. And so I really felt that that sort of experience, as Arianna said, it's a thriller. That sort of intimacy, and have an audience right there and literally feel the sounds that are going on around them. I thought it would benefit from it.
I felt like I couldn't get up and leave. Right. I can't go. We all have to sit here right now.
Mm-hmm. And
that's part of it, partly because of the space.
Yeah. And you mention your choice for intimate plays that can exist in an intimate space. And I've only seen a handful of productions from Theater Exile. Loved every one of them, but every one of them has been exactly that, intimate, taking place in one location, and, if I may, really fucked up. And it's low-key what I come to expect. And is that the fucked upness? Is that something that you look for in each play, or that's just a happy accident for me in the times that I've gone?
No, I think that's a little bit of our DNA. I really like to dig into the human condition.
Mm-hmm.
We like things to feel timely, to feel like current, like we should be seeing this right now, that it makes sense that we're watching it right now. But when you get into the truth of the human condition, we're messy. There, and we all have a little fucked upness within us, and most of us, I think, try and put the good face and do our best journey. I think both of these characters were trying to be their best selves through the whole journey, because I think that's what we try to do. But when you reveal what's going on underneath, it gets complicated and messy and dirty, and I don't think we can fix things or understand things if we don't dive into that. So I'm not surprised that of the handful of things, there was a through line of fucked upness.
Okay.
That's on purpose.
So it wasn't just a happy accident. Okay.
No, I mean, there might be some things that you wouldn't describe that way, but I don't know, Scott, you know our work as well as anyone. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that that Exile chooses plays that challenge you and engage with you. You know, it is not, you don't go to Theater Exile to be nostalgic or to be, you know, mollified or you know, have a you know, nice, easy experience. But it's always entertaining and engaging and sort of asks you to look at things from a different perspective, ask you to re-examine things that you thought you understood really well. And so it's, and again, the audience knows why they're there and is excited to be there. And that's very gratifying to be a part of.
Just don't come expecting 42nd Street. Got it.
Yeah, I said Charles
And
said,
listen,
well,
nothing wrong with 42nd Street.
No, not at all.
42nd Street. Who doesn't want to watch,
Right.
you know, incredible tap dancing for 2 hours? But that's not
This ain't that.
why you go to Theater Exile.
we got outside and Charles said, well, and I said, that was not a musical. That's kind of where I was. I'm like, that was not a musical.
Not even a Sondheim musical.
No.
Not even. No.
Not even a Fosse production.
But yeah, I mean, I think we talked all the way home, just about, you know, just unpacking it. And I think engaged is the right word. You know, it was so engaging, and it led to so much thought and consideration, and again, masterfully and very humanly played in the ways that we have a mask, in the ways that we present one way and can often very much be another. And what happens when that's confronted? You know, what happens when that's explored in front of us in real time when we can't get up? Because I was riveted the entire time. So yeah, engaging is, I think, the right word that I've always kind of put to Theater Exile, that's what I expect. And you never disappoint.
And that was actually the difference, seeing this last show with you. That was the first time, because I always used to go, before we got together, go to things by myself. So after I experience what you guys gave, normally I have to sit with it by myself. It was good to be able to express with someone else for a change, because whoo child. Like, just to give you an idea, like the first thing I ever saw, I don't even remember how many years ago, was Bug. And that show, well, I'd seen the movie first, which is why I was like, oh my God, they're doing that. And so, yeah, same thing. You get that human condition. Who are we really? The mask falling off, and what does it look like underneath? I like that through line. I know that, there's an entire season's offering from Theater Exile. Deborah, talk to us about, what are the other things that are going to be coming at us?
Job has officially closed now. Am I right about that?
Yeah, Job closed on Sunday. We were thrilled that the playwright joined us and the director from New York joined us for the final production, and that was really lovely. They were very happy with our production, which made me very happy.
Oh, you got a Barrymore recommendation, right?
We did. And I think everyone did a great job. I think the design team was just spot on. You walk in and you think you know what that space is. It's beautiful, inviting, and it just transforms in such a dramatic way. So I think everyone did just a fantastic job on it. The next thing that's up for us is that we do a series called Philly Grit, which we bring in a couple of usually local artists and who are artists generating their own work. It's devised work, it's directed dress work, it's usually one-person pieces, and they probably existed before, the kind of like fringe style work. And we do a series, they play in rep, and then we have a cabaret speakeasy that happens one night with Cookie Diorio leading that. And so it's these pieces in rep, and the two shows that we're doing, this is the official announcement, I guess, is A Vacation by Bastian Carboni, and it's a journey, goes on vacation to purgatory. He's an influencer, and sees what sort of damage the entitlement, even through purgatory, you can create. And it's funny and weird and definitely goes dark. Inside the mind of Bastian Carboni. And then the next piece is by Justin Jane, who's a wonderful performer in Philadelphia. Justin. He's doing a piece called The Dangers of Tobacco, which is built off of Chekhov, but it starts with that and kind of breaks open, and it explores his journey, his family's journey here to the United States, and it talks a little bit about place and who we are, and sort of embracing the truth of who we are. And it's really interestingly told with total levels of reality in there. And so those are those pieces, and we're going to end our season with a play called The Great Privation, How to Flip 10 Cents into a Dollar by Nia Akila Robinson. And it takes place in Philadelphia on the original cemetery, location of the original cemetery of Mother Bethel Church. And it takes place in 1832 and the present, and in the same location. And the play starts with a mother and daughter standing over a newly dug grave and trying, because they hear that there are grave robbers that come, and eventually a student from Jefferson shows up with a shovel. And so it's really about protecting your family, and the truth of, again, it's about unearthing truths in terms of what is good for societies, what is good for a human, and it jumps to the present, and it has parallel experiences, and it sort of takes the harm that's done to Black bodies through the generations, and how do we accept what we cannot change and find joy where we can find joy, and just facing the truth and lifting a paintbrush or a hand or an arm and saying, I take my truth and I put it out there for people to see. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful play. And this will be its first production in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I feel like I have an idea of where this goes towards the present day, but I'm not going to take too much stock in that, because I learned a long time ago, when you think you know where something's going, you probably don't, or at least not completely.
Now, will we see either of you, Scott or Arianna, in again in this season?
At Theater Exile, no.
No. Okay. Well, we do want to know what else you're doing. by the way.
I will be there in the audience.
Oh, okay.
That counts.
Fantastic for me personally.
Okay. Now you mentioned coming to Philadelphia. So where are you based?
I'm based in New York.
Oh, okay.
I was the understudy on the Broadway production of Job.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I had a very close relationship to Max, our playwright, who's just brilliant. And he had such a love and respect for Philadelphia, Theater Exile. He has roots in Philly. His dad works there, all these things. And so he wanted to take particular care of the production of Job in Philly. And helped connect me and Deborah, and I auditioned against some really incredible local actors, and luckily it all worked out. Met Scott at that audition and really hit it off, and and the rest is history.
Yeah, you did. It was so amazing. What's next for you? Do we know yet?
I did just doing the wonderful audition hustle. I teach acting, and so I'll be teaching some acting at Patrick Page Studio here in New York, and online at my actingcoachingonline.com, which
Awesome.
I founded and work on.
Nice.
Yeah, and the rest is, I guess the very next thing is I'm in the upcoming season of The Night Agent on Netflix. So when that releases,
Awesome.
you can
Okay.
see me acting there.
Okay,
Well,
fabulous.
We definitely want to share, in the notes of the episode, if you'll send us your information for the online acting classes, because I can already recommend them.
That's
And
wonderful.
just
Yes,
seeing
please.
your work, because
Thank you very much.
Scott, what about you? What's are you based in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I live here.
Okay.
My next thing is I'll be at Quintessence Theater in Mount Airy in February in a show called Rare Accidents, which is Alex Burns, the artistic director, has sort of cut together Shakespeare's Henry IV parts 1 and 2 and sort of focuses on the Falstaff-Howe relationship. I'll be playing Falstaff. And then in April, May, I'll be at the Walnut Street Theater in 1776, the musical. But yeah, I'm playing Ben Franklin.
We'll have to
I
let
love
Kathy know that
We
1776
will.
is coming to town. My goodness.
My sister is, yes, a big fan of, all musical theater, almost.
So I just want to take a moment and give a shout out to Philadelphia Theater and its many practitioners. Theater Exile has been. Deborah, how old is Theater Exile now?
We're in our 29th season.
I was going to say.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, Theater Exile has been a jewel in the crown for going on 3 decades. And I love it so much. I love the quality of every aspect of the theater. Like, for instance, in Job, every element worked in harmony. Like the sound design and the lighting design in particular, you were just in this world and you're jarred in and out of it with such precision. And that takes such skill. And I just wanted to, give the entire production team their flowers because
because
you all
when
earned it.
sound and lighting are not spot on, you don't want to sit with Charles in a theater.
This is also true. I have been known to point out, not during the show necessarily,
sometimes
but
you can't help it.
I will point out things that
You can't help it.
should have happened. Well, I'm also one of those people that, like, the first thing I do when I go into a theater, like, I look at what the setting is on the stage, and then I look up and see what we're working with. That I can't help myself.
But he'll just well, that was a choice. Clearly not the one you would have made. So it's an interesting way, from the production standpoint, to try to watch a show. And we were not taken out of the show once. So kudos, because it happens.
Nor did we expect to be.
No, not at all.
And that's you mentioned, like, again, the intimacy of Theater Exile, Deborah. Again, that's something that I did notice, how you do a lot with a little.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously it's a choice because you pick things that work in an intimate setting. Like, is it the bare bonesness of a budget? Is it an artistic challenge? Yes. Because every time it's successfully done that way. Like maximal minimalism, I guess we call it.
Okay.
And we are a very small company. I mean, that's the truth. Our budget is very small. We're in South Philadelphia, so there's a truth to that. But I believe in the power of creativity, and most of the people that we work with again and again know that they can embrace their own creativity to find something incredibly powerful. We do sometimes do things in multiple sets. You mentioned the unit set, and that's true a lot. But when we do things with multiple sets, it's let's embrace the metaphor. Where's the metaphor? Let's just go there, and just embracing that. The tech was spot on, not because we had a huge team, but because we had great people who everyone wanted to collaborate. Everyone wanted to bring someone in. Arianna was so connected to like the rhythm of the sound and the light. Like everyone was working together to make things happen. And when you give people that freedom to do that, they come back and they're their best. And so I think people had a lot of fun and just embraced the creativity of it and just went for it.
Nice.
It is, yeah. It's so gratifying to, have an intellectual experience these days, I gotta say.
Sure.
Where you really are challenged and we really are looking, it's like, wait a minute, there still are smart people in the world. We do talk about, things that matter because it can feel like we don't.
I will say our audiences are amazing. I love the people that see Theater Exile show. I learned so much in the lobby on the way back. I had so many interesting conversations with therapists and social workers who really had something to say. I'm like, man, I wish I talked to you before the show. But we have incredibly smart, engaged people who make our world better. And I am thrilled that part of what makes them so effective in the world is coming to Theater Exile. So I take our responsibility seriously. But our audiences, man, I love them. I'll go to lunch with every one of them. They're just brilliant.
Yeah, you can feel that. There's just such a sense of it. And it was like, wow, I'm a part of something here. And that doesn't happen everywhere, So many times we go and it's just, you can feel an energy that says, I'm here to be entertained, entertain me.
Right.
Different vibe. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love being entertained.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, anytime the light goes down in the theater, I am like a frigging kid. I am so excited, and I do hope this is entertaining and fun in Exile version of fun,
Absolutely.
But yeah, because it hopefully is taking you on a journey somewhere, so you're moving with it.
It was funny.
I was going to say, yeah.
It had really good moments, and y'all, I mean, your timing was impeccable, and I did not expect to laugh. And, so you held that tension well, and knew where to sort of give it a breath and a smile and a laugh. And it was like, sometimes it was kind of a nervous laughter, but it was, yeah.
Yeah. And it's
well placed.
It's perfect for Theater Exile is perfect for someone like me, because I learned a long time ago that there are things that are universally funny among an audience. We're all laughing together. There's things that like some of us will find funny, and then there's things that only I would find funny, and those are the moments that I really love, because this is like, okay, I'm an interesting person with that. Are there any plays that are like on the bucket list, both for you guys as performers and you, Deborah, as artistic director? Like, I want to do that before I can't do anything else. Who wants to go first?
I love Shakespeare. It's funny because when I was a kid deciding to become an actor when I was 11, how I was introduced to Shakespeare was the Utah Shakespeare Festival. That's where I was born and raised. And back then, the theater model, especially in that part of the country, was this repertory theater where you're going to do 3, if you're an actor there, you're going to do 3 shows out of the 6 all summer. And then when that one's over all summer, you're going to go to Milwaukee Rep for the rest of the year, and you'll do the 6 shows there. And so that's what I thought my sort of adult acting life would be. And then, of course, everything has shifted so much in a few short years. And so, and some amazing things have happened, you know, that not necessarily all for the negative, but I definitely thought there would be more Shakespeare around. And it's so enforced in training and all these things. And so it actually makes me grateful to get to do a show like this, because when I very first read Job, I texted my manager at the time. I texted her, it's like Hamlet, you know, and I don't want to give away too much to anyone who's going to listen to this, but there's something very much in Jane, how the play navigates mental health to help us explore a really clear dramatic tension, and this, how we get the courage to do something or not, how we question ourselves or not. All of that reminded me of Shakespeare. So I'm always thinking about Shakespeare. I'm obsessed with it, but other bucket lists are working with Scott and Deborah again as soon as possible.
Love that.
In any capacity.
Love that.
There was such an element of, you know, doing the right thing, and what does that look like? It was one of the things that I kind of wrestled with was, you know, sometimes things are so scary, and making the choice to, or is it a choice? Do you know what I mean? Like, I cannot live with this thing, so therefore we just have to move forward. So yeah, that I just remembered that part.
Yeah, working with these two, very, very top of the list. Role wise, I've always wanted to play Sweeney Todd. And also, when I was young, I was in a production of Death of a Salesman at the Arden about 30 years ago now. And a man who passed away this year, Tom McCarthy, played Willie Loman. And it was one of the greatest performances I've seen by an actor anywhere. He was a huge figure in the Philadelphia theater community. And I'm nearing the age that he played. You know, he was when he played Willie. And so that's something I would love to do as well at some point.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of actual, like, scripts. Like, there's some scripts that are beyond what Theater Exiles can do alone. You know, like, I'd love the play that just came out about a year or so ago, Prayer for the French Republic, which asks such an important question, which is, when is it time to leave? Like, where you are. When is it time to, like, what if we don't trust our country anymore? Really important, big questions, but it's huge. It's 11 characters, you know. I would love to get back in the world of musicals. Like, I used to do choreography and direct musicals, but it's been years and years and early in my professional career, and I'd love to do that again. And, you know, there's just good, chewy psychological dramas are always my favorite. You know, with humor, always with humor. Love to make people laugh.
Right.
I used to do boatloads of Charles Ludlam and George Bush, you know, just blow your skirt up, have fun, psycho beach party things, and I love those as well.
You know, that idea, and I have a question with this too, but the idea of place and when is it time to leave? You know, I work as a counselor, as well as work with a hell of a lot of trans people, and it's been a question that so many, you know, some have had to answer.
That's right where my mind went to. You know.
And, you know, some are still, grappling with that, and just being the person that says, look, there's no right answer here. It's the right answer for the human.
Right.
Is where I've stood. That, because I have issues with the trans community eating itself anyway, but we can't tell one another when that moment is. I had a friend and a member of a group I facilitate who had long COVID. And after the results of the election, they picked up and went to Canada immediately. They had planned to, and they did. And they said, I am too ill to fight. It's not that I don't want to, I can't. And, miraculously, this human is healthy and vibrant and came back to life. And we didn't see that as possible. And I went, you can't tell me that was the wrong decision, even though they took a lot of guff for it. Like if you're using your privilege to leave us all here. And they said, yeah, this is what's right for me. And it's just one we're grappling with. I mean, I never thought we would have an underground railroad in 2025 for my communities, but we do. To get medicine to folks, to get them away from laws that are killing folks. So, yeah, lots is going on. I was in a conversation with someone recently, and there was just an offhanded opinion. I can't really talk too much about the specifics, but it was a trans icon who said to me that there is a film finally coming out about their life. And this person who knew them very well said, yeah, that's not going to happen, not in this climate. And I said, I think this is exactly the climate. This is when we need to hear these stories and see resilience. And that's my perspective. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, Deborah especially, I think it's the time to engage more of it, not less of it. I don't, when we talk about shying away, especially where art is concerned, this is what art is supposed to do.
I have in our core values at Theater Exile, we say that to live as an artist is a privilege, and it is our responsibility to help make our community a better place. And I believe that every person, every artist does it differently. I mean, again, straight entertainment, I love it. There is a place for that and a place to make your soul lighter so you can do what you need to do. So I don't ever want anyone to think that everyone's artistic path needs to be one way or another, needs to be the way Exile does it. But I do think those conversations are important. That's the timeliness, to think even if it's a play that's, 100 years old, but seeing it today makes sense and makes me think and grapple with the world out there. So yes, in this climate. Yeah. I mean, of course, the arts community, we've lost funding because we've chosen to say things in this climate. Mm-hmm. That's the reality of it. But yes, in this climate, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. The politics of it all. It's, Doge was, I think they're gone now, aren't they? Didn't they implode recently? But, I built and ran an LGBTQ addiction program in New Jersey that, our entire grant just went away. And it was Doge who did it. Damas was funding some incredible work with, leftover COVID money, I guess. But they were using it in ways and with populations that have been underserved for too long. And we were doing some great stuff with that money. It wasn't being wasted. And I said, I guess when we were recording recently, we haven't begun to see the true fallout of the programs that were cut in terms of mental health, in terms of addiction, in terms of underserved populations. It's going to get more and more obvious what has happened. So yeah, I just, and there's that idea of preaching to the choir, right? Right. The folks who come to see this are all going to be the choir. Yeah, I am in the choir, and I also want to be preached to. I want to be reminded that humanity matters.
Indeed.
That there are other people who care, who are grappling with the same things, who are, really trying to be better humans and figure out, what the hell is going on.
And the artists are always the ones that I look to first, because talk about boots on the ground,
Some of the best art is made in the worst times, so.
That part.
I wanted to say, I think this play, funnily enough, I think one of its strengths is that I don't think it actually preaches to the choir. I think
agree.
It's an amazing, strange thing where, as you said, as we did our introductions, that you were choosing moments where you loved one of us and hated the other and switching that. And I think there's parts of Jane that are so admirable and so interesting, and then there's parts of Jane that, especially, this is written to be in January 2020, and now we're in November 2025.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Jane's Silicon Valley, Elon Musk-esque love of tech and meritocracy and how it's given her life purpose really is scary now, really is jarring to to listen to and really understand. And yet there's other parts of her that are completely correct, that if she's coming from this past of really elite spaces where people talk a lot of game and then don't actually have a stick of compassion to give to anyone. And she's genuinely trying to treat real problems in the world like they are fixable, which they are.
Sure.
It's such a wonderful mix of things where I really think wherever you are on the political spectrum, you can come to this play and you can see yourself in it. And then you're going to see parts of yourself you don't like. You're going to see the world savior part. You're going to see why am I so afraid of guns, or why am I not afraid of guns? There's
why am I not afraid enough? Yeah,
a lot in there.
There is. You're absolutely right.
I really admire the play for that, because I think there's it's rare that you really have a play where you don't know who the bad guy is. That isn't always true, and so the fact that this play, it switches hats,
right?
That's interesting to me.
And I have been forced to ask myself the question in recent years: what if there is no good guy?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not a question we like to ask, but.
And I think that, that was a part of it, was just kind of as I said, what is the right thing? Who benefits, who suffers, and how do we, it's not clear cut sometimes. Sometimes it's really hard. And boy, did that come across. It really did. Like, this is not black and white. This is not so clear. And, and I think that lens is important, like, what an innocent time January 2020 was as compared to
exactly. Yeah.
January of 2025, for instance.
Yeah. Different.
Yeah.
And who'd have thought? I mean, some people did. Some saw it coming.
Deborah, sidebar, going back to the bucket list play question. There is a show that popped in my head this morning that I was like, I wonder what Theater Exile would do with this. The Pillow Man.
So the Wilma did a production of Pillow Man a number of years ago, which I saw, and as soon as I saw it, like at the end of the play, I ran out of the theater. My memory is that I ran home and then looked at my then baby son. Like, I just had to look at my child and make sure everything was okay. Like, I ran home, and then there was another production in the Philadelphia area. I can't remember who did that next production. Oh.
It was Hedgerow about 4 years ago. 3 years
really?
Ago. Yeah, Pete Pryor was in it. It was the first time I'd seen Pete perform in a long time.
Oh, how about that?
It was great.
Yeah, it is. First of all, keep coming with those suggestions. Just let me know. I love people who love Theater Exile to give me plays I really value that. I think it's really important. I think Pillow Man is right on the money in terms of like something that Theater Exile will do. It's just been done too recently.
I didn't even realize that. Wow.
You missed it.
That was actually the show that made me realize what I said about some things we all think are funny and some things just I think are funny.
Yeah, no, I've been in that room where like we're watching this play and I'm the only one that laughs, and it's usually a big laugh.
Of course. Of course.
It's like, oh, so I'm the only person that thinks that a 12-year-old girl dressed as Jesus dragging a cross around the living room is hilarious. All right, fine, I'll be that.
No, we just have to end up at the same play at the same time more. That's all.
Have you ever done Mother Play by Marsha Norman?
Night Mother.
Sorry, Mother Play.
Yeah. No.
Oh, the Paula Vogel that just came out is called the Mother Play. That's also would be great. But.
I have not. No, we never did Night Mother. We never did Night Mother. Yeah. Yeah. Just saying. Right?
That one's a big one. That one's a big one in acting school.
Yeah.
It has such meaty scenes for women.
So good.
No, it's true. It is true. Yeah, that we haven't done that one. Yeah.
Random question. But I went to see Oklahoma, the most recent production, twice. And it's creepy as fuck. And you realize that they could take this piece of iconic musical theater and slightly rework it. And you're watching a different story. I wonder if anything else comes to mind like that, because that was a trip for me to go, ooh, this is a whole, and it was all there. Those words were all there. They were just smiling when they said them. And
right.
Yeah.
The stuff that was okay, that we, I guess, didn't see.
I mean, the racism in South Pacific, I guess, is really.
Ooh, child. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of the play. But, hearing it now becomes
right.
part of the play.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was just blown away.
I'm like, ooh, I like Oklahoma now.
And there were 2 trans cast members who were just playing roles. They, there wasn't an agenda beyond that, and they were fantastic. So we took about 25 people to go see the play and meet the actors, and it was amazing, truly. But I was just left thinking, what else could we do that with? Just tell the same story, but
a lot of the older plays, I mean, it's been sort of the casual racism and misogyny, and it depends. We've looked at some what I call like legacy plays that speak to the like what the psychological drama that what Theater Exile does. But if the misogyny or racism is present but doesn't actually move the story quite right, it can be a little, it's scary. But we've looked at some of those, and it's hard. Sometimes you can successfully make that transformation. And sometimes it's just like, why are you giving these thoughts space?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so, yeah, it's finding the right one that can be twisted and uplift the story rather than just giving old ideas space on stage.
Right. Right. No, I left going, wow, I saw a whole different show, and I just watched the exact same show.
I love the ability of theater to change not only the audience or the actors, but the thing itself. It's just, it's a wonderful magic thing. Deborah, how do you know you found like the script? Because some people it's like, oh, I get nervous, I get sick, I get the chills. Like, how do you know?
It depends on the play. Sometimes I'm never sure until the play shows up on stage and it's done, But more than like, I remember when I read Passover, And we did that during COVID. We did it outside in a park. It was wonderful production. I remember when I read it, I was screaming in the house. I was on vacation with my family, and I'm like, oh my God, does anyone know what I just read? And you can sometimes feel it. I felt that with Wolf Play by Hansel John. Oh my God, such an amazing play. Also, plays that play with form really excite me. Really, really excite me. And sometimes it's just when, with Job, I'm like, oh my God, just digging into this will be exciting. Yeah, it's when you want to spend more time with it. Do you know what I mean? You want to have a second date.
Yes.
Maybe go into that third or fourth.
I'm intrigued. There's something here. There's layers here that I can dig through. Please keep doing amazing work. The next show opens when?
The next show will open March 18th.
Okay. Nice. And in the meantime?
Yeah, actually, we have things happening at Theater Exile. Theater in the X is going to be there doing a show in December.
Great. Great. And that's all on your website? Yes? Folks can follow that way?
Yeah, our rental partners are on our website as well. So there's always something happening in Exile.
Beautiful. And we will link to all of that. It's been amazing chatting with all of you.
It really has.
Thank you so much for making the time. We love the work that you do. Please keep going,
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for uplifting live theater. And Philadelphia theater, just so important, so wonderful. Thank you.
Always. Literally our pleasure.
Always. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thanks for this work. And have a peaceful Thanksgiving.
You as well.
You as well.
Take care.
Bye, everyone. Full Circle is a Never Scared Productions podcast, hosted by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal, produced and edited by Never Scared, executive produced by Charles Tyson Jr. and Martha Madrigal. Our theme and music is by the Jingleberries. All names, pictures, music, audio, and video clips are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective copyright holders.